You're right. We look at the Tea Party, what's happened with the Koch brothers and the mainstream press really diluting that movement entirely by corporate power. So yeah, that is something we need to watch out for. It's a great point.
You want this to be exactly what it was established. Occupy Austin, Occupy Wall Street, Occupy any city USA is really about a general movement to stand up and be heard and to say that you are not going to be trampled by your government, by big business.
Recently, Alex Jones announced the campaign to occupy the Fed in a bid to focus the Occupy Wall Street movement on the real enemies of the American people, the Federal Reserve, and not let the protests be manipulated by Democratic Party front groups who are a huge part of the Wall Street establishment. I'm Darren McBreen for InfoWars Nightly News.
Wow, that was a powerful report. And I liked what Martinez was saying, leffing well. Of course, is playing dumb as usual. But overall, a really good report. And those are great, informed people on the street. And listen, there's protests going on all the time. We've had hundreds of In the Fed protests, sometimes with thousands of people at them, all over the country. Different groups have, Ron Paul and others. There's constantly protests at Wall Street. I promoted one of the Federal Reserve just a month or two ago that a couple hundred people showed up at in New York because a listener called me on air and said, will you promote this? So 2.5 weeks ago or so, I'd hear Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, okay, I hear this all the time. And then I kind of saw some MoveOn.org people involved, like, that's just some spin thing where they want to take it over. But now it's really gained steam. And so I was thinking kind of earlier in the week, okay, this is a big deal. The media is calling this the revolution. And everybody I see is Michael Moore saying capitalism's the problem, raise taxes, knowing that's going to be paid to the foreign banks who are promoting it, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, others. And so who the news was putting on, Roseanne Barr and others were calling for re-education camps and arresting everybody who has money. And I was like, God, this is authoritarian. Communists killed more people than Hitler, by a lot. I mean, this is a dangerous group, always led by useful idiots. I thought this must just be totally run. Now I've had reporters, Matthew Medina in San Antonio, I've known for years, great source, Rob Jacobson in New York, Luke Radowski in New York and D.C., In the Fed, people we talked to in Austin, Dallas, all over the country. We've sent our reporters down there, and quite frankly, a lot of them are our listeners. They're Ron Paul supporters, they're libertarians, they're liberals that have woken up to the real paradigm, they're conservatives that have woken up to the real paradigm of the New World Order, the private Federal Reserve. And I've got to say, the vast majority are not Soros run or Al Gore run or whatever, but the mainstream media is going and saying it's MoveOn.org. On the left, posing like they're saviors and run it. Then the right comes in and says, oh, the whole movement's a bunch of MoveOn.org, which isn't true. So again, it's that left-right thing. So yes, the mainstream media, the dominant media, not dominant for too long, they're collapsing. That's why they're flopping around and writhing. They're trying to misbrand it as Soviet or communistic when it's not. And Rob Dew brought to my attention, we linked to this on Infowars.com today, this Small Story Visuals is a group, they're shooting videos on their YouTube channel, they're excellent. Small 1124 is their YouTube site. And this is the same stuff that Rob Jacobson's shooting and putting on our YouTube channel. Very similar responses by the people. And Rob told me today, he walked up, there's a guy standing in front of a group of like 500 people going, where's Alex Jones? He needs to be here. And are you with Soros? Are you with Soros? And they're like, no. But then Jacobson did find some that were, but they were the minority. So what's happening here is this is real. This is grassroots. But now the Democratic Party and others have admitted they want to hijack it, just like the Republicans with the Tea Party. So here is 7 or so minutes of somebody who really knows what they're talking about. Then we're going to come back from break with Nomi Prinz. Stay with us.
When you have big state government, small federal government, our voices are heard at the local level. We can make differences. A whole continent-wide cannot control a federal government with a banking system that prints money like it's paper. You can't even call it money anymore. Gold is money. Silver is money. Green dollars are not money. They're using inflation as a hidden tax to f the people. Prices go up. Do your wages go up? No. My wages didn't go up, but prices went up. gas goes up, milk goes up, trains go up. How am I supposed to live? And this is all because our government prints too much money, starts too much wars, so they can sell their tanks, their guns, their missiles, because that's all America exports. It's guns, missiles, and tanks. That's it. We need to bring production back to America. And the Federal Reserve. And the fractional banking system. When you invest $100 in a bank, they multiply that by 9 and they send it out 9 different ways. They don't just make money on the initial investment, they make it 9 times the initial investment. That's fake money that they printed out of thin air. Fiat money. It's a fiat currency. 1913, this country died when we adopted the central bank and we got rid of sound money. We used to be able in 1913 to walk into a bank and redeem our dollars with gold. Can we do that anymore? No. What's the price of gold now? Almost $2,000. It's gone up $600 an ounce this year.
It's going to keep rising.
And it's going to keep rising as long as we have bailouts, as long as we have quantitative easing, as long as our government keeps spending our money. Every dollar the government takes in federal taxation is another dollar that they spend. Every time they spend money, that's your money that they send overseas. They bail out Morgan Stanley and then Goldman Sachs. When I fuck up, who bails me out? No one. Why should Goldman Sachs get bailed out? $700 billion in 08. And they want more now? They want more. That wasn't enough? You're going to drain. There's not going to be a middle class in 10 years. And the Federal Reserve. And the fractional banking system.
And the Fed.
Elect Ron Paul. And the war.
Ron Paul 2012.
Sound money. Stop with the banksters printing money. Printing it, debasing our currencies. Driving up our prices. We don't need any more money in our economy. We got plenty in debt.
No.
And the Fed, and the fractional reserve system, and the wars. Get corporations out of our politics. Out of our politics.
And corporate personhood.
Wall Street is rigged. When Wall Street owns a majority of the wealth and they invest in Wall Street, they know when the market's going to go up, they know when the market's going to go down, and they all make money while we all lose money. How is that fair? And then, after thousands, trillions of derivatives, they want bailouts. They have the balls to ask us for bailouts. No more bailouts. No more printing of money. No more quantitative easing. And the Federal Reserve. And the fractional banking system. Sound money. Go back to a gold standard. The Depression will be nothing compared to 1913 when it hits us. 1930, when the Depression came, will be nothing like it will be in the coming years. If we lose America, we have nowhere else to run for freedom. There is no country left that promotes free markets, corporations not in politics. There's no country that has their own sound currency. There is nowhere left to run. If we lose America, we lose the world to the elite. The 1% will continue to get rich as we all live like slaves. If you think the way of life is bad now, you will all be living in projects like Hoovervilles. We cannot continue to print money. We cannot continue to debase our currency. We need to end the Federal Reserve. We need to get lobbyists, Goldman Sachs, George Soros, Merrill Lynch, everyone out of our politics. Why should they be allowed to throw millions at politicians so they do what we want? They're supposed to be our voice, not their voice. States' rights. When you minimize government, it is easier to control by the people. States' rights. You need to give the rights back to the states. minimize these government agencies like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loaned out money that private bankers would not loan out. People that they did not trust the government loaned money.
Well, that is what the establishment is scared of. And, he talks about elect Ron Paul president. You do hear a big cheer. But it's thousands of people just milling around, screaming their voices out, because you're not allowed to have bullhorns, even though I've had them in New York been arrested. And I'm going to be up there in Dallas this Friday, occupying the Federal Reserve. You want to really send a political shot heard around the world? Come to the Dallas Fed. I'm going to be there for 2 hours. I'm going to ride to the next Fed like Paul Revere, but I need you to stay there, to occupy it for a few days, then others will come. Get the word out, folks. We need your help. This is history happening right now. We're going to go to break and come back with a Nomi Prinz interview, and then at the end I'm going to break down really what's coming up with our Occupy the Fed movement. This is so important. And obviously, we'll take this prisonplanet.tv live transmission. It's going to re-air, be archived at prisonplanet.tv for subscribers. But obviously, we're going to take this and put it on the YouTube channel while we still have it. Behind the scenes, they're trying to take it down right now and threatening us and stuff. And get this video when it's on YouTube and get it out to everybody you know. But that idea, the things that man was talking about there, that's what scares the system. When you talk about mega corporations teaming up with government, that's what Republicans won't talk about that. Democrats won't talk about that. That's the big dirty secret that's hiding in plain view. But the facts are getting out. We'll be right back.
Obama is notoriously a liar.
We need to go to where the real architecture of government is, and it's not in a president.
Wall Street has hijacked Washington in broad daylight.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
The elite are using Obama to pacify the public so they can usher in the North American Union by stealth, launch a new Cold War, and continue the occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan.
The globalists are outside all the nations. That gives them safety, and they play countries off against each other.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
Partnership and cooperation among nations is not a choice. It is the only way.
What they're doing is using the existence of the United States to act out their Wall Street fantasies of world domination and maintaining their capital structures and maintaining their system of looting.
The fight that this country has been waging since its inception is for the central bankers not to take over the country.
President Barack Obama is only the tool of a larger agenda.
Senator Obama had a desire to do some meetings. Others had a desire to meet with him tonight in a private way, and that's what we're doing.
Presidential candidate Barack Obama was publicly criticizing the North American Free Trade Agreement in a bid for votes, but privately telling Canadian officials not to worry about it.
If you talk to our generals, they are desperate for is a civilian counterpart to our military force.
What do you call this thing where you get this false sense of gratification, but because a black man is in office, everything's gonna be all right? No, everything's not gonna be all right.
So I know how unpopular it is to be seen as helping banks right now, especially when everyone is suffering in part from their bad decisions. I promise you, I get it.
The Obama deception. The truth strikes back. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. Welcome back to Infowars Nightly News on this October 3rd, 2011 Tuesday edition. And we're going to close out this transmission with a closer look at the unfolding global financial meltdown. Bernanke saying we're on the verge of a new downturn. We never left the recession. We've been in a depression, according to the dozens of respected economists and financial experts that I've interviewed over the years. And Nomi Prinz, of course, was the managing director at Goldman Sachs. She also worked with other big companies, in large global strategic outlooks. So she was able to boil down the wide global image. And she's been talking about on our show for the last few years, but a lot longer before that in her best-selling nonfiction books about these robber barons and the system they've set up. So I wanted to get her on to talk about the deepening crisis and the world meltdown, and also wanted to get her view on Occupy Wall Street. Nomi Prinz, thank you so much.